Welcome into episode 31 of Ramie and Drew. I am Ramie Makloff. That is Drew Flaggy. We're a couple of comedians based out of Milwaukee who talk about sports and whatever else comes to mind. And today, Drew, by the way, it's Bucks Kings tonight. And I just want to let everybody know who's tuning in, wherever you may be tuning in from. This is a Kings friendly show. Like, we're Bucks fans. We talk mostly about the Bucks. But Drew, I spent time in Sacramento. You never spent time in Sacramento, but you like that team. We're a light the beam show when they're not playing the Bucks here on Ramie and Drew. I should make that note.
Yeah, well, we've said that. We're pro Timberwolves also.
Pro Wolves, pro Kings, and I have friends in Sacramento. I want to see them enjoy a good basketball team and have a good time, including my friend who joins us now on the show, Drew Flaggy from SacTown Sports 1140, my former coworker and producer. It is Simone Rickford. Simone, how are you? This is it still afternoon? It's still afternoon in Sacramento, California.
Bright and beautiful here in California. I'm doing so good. How are you guys? Thanks for having me.
Good. Believe it or not, bright and beautiful in Milwaukee as well. It's like 65 degrees here today.
You're a liar.
Gorgeous.
You're a liar.
No, I swear to God. 100% true. It was beautiful here today. Simone, let's start with the Sacramento Kings. And yes. And again, you can catch Simone on SacTown Sports 1140, my former home for a little bit. It seems like the Kings haven't had they've had a fine season, but it seems like they haven't had the season that folks were expecting when I was out there, and we were getting the build up to this season coming off what they accomplished last year. Am I missing the vibe, or has that been the vibe in Sacramento?
No, totally. I think that a lot of the fans and a lot of the media has definitely, leaned into this linear kind of projection for the Kings. And although our record is still similar to that of last year, it's just been a little bit disappointing. There's been a lot of games that we've dropped the ball on shorthanded teams and or teams that were just missing, some crucial components. And it's been difficult. I don't know. It's been a roller coaster. We handle great teams. We drop, some below 500 teams. And it's been kind of dicey for us here in Sacramento.
Drew, in a weird way, that reminds me of the Bucks.
Yeah.
Doesn't it sound like she's talking about the Bucks right now?
Yeah, I said sounds like another team now.
But you guys have had a fascinating road. I mean, everything that's happened with getting Dame and Doc, I'm just fascinated by your guys' team. And I don't know what's going to happen in the East, but I don't know what's going to happen in the West either. I mean, we have a really volatile West playoff situation really cooking here, and we're going to be in the middle of it. So I'm nervous. I'm nervous for the Kings.
I wouldn't be that nervous because I think that OKC is going to get handled in one of the early rounds. They're too small. They're just their Chet isn't big enough to be standing paint presence. And I think Sabonis is enough to move him out of the way.
Right. Yes, absolutely. And him, God, don't even get me started on his whole double-double and triple. I mean, the guy's a maniac. The guy is a maniac this year, but we have the Thunder's number. It's not them. I think our barbed wire is going to be the Pelicans, unfortunately. I think a bad matchup with the Lakers could be no bueno, and we're just going to have to see what happens. The play-in might be a situation, which was really a fall from grace from last year where we were the third seed in the West.
Yeah, which is weird, Simone. When I got to town, it was just about, I don't know, a little less than 2 years ago that I had taken the job in Sacramento, and they were on a 17-year playoff drought. Play-in, if we were talking about the play-in, it was they might have planned a parade.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Me too. My little chair out there.
And now it's play-in, it is
disappointing.
It's a disappointment after what they did last year.
Absolutely, I totally concur, and it's just a real enigma, much like our missing princess that we'll get to later.
We'll get to the missing princess in a second. For those who, Simone is obsessed with this princess case, and really, anything that makes the royal family look silly, Simone is here for it, and so am I. And we will get into that. I know she's got theories about where the princess is, and we'll get to that in just a second. But from a distance, Simone, because I watch the Kings whenever I can. I know Drew watches the Kings whenever he can, because he's got money on him more nights than not.
can I like a guy and I don't bet the unders on him.
Oh, that's nice. Aw.
Not Tyrese Halliburton, where I'm always betting unders. I hate bet. Like I'm rooting for him.
Yeah, and consistency. I mean, again, look at Sabonis. That's a sure thing, night in, night out. But
so Simone, you're saying he is a sure thing, as in like 43.5 points, rebounds, over. That's what.
I mean, the length is going to be a little bit of an issue. I don't like this matchup tonight, but yeah, I think that's a.
Well,
I think that's
on my other bet, take Giannis for a spicy triple double. So
yeah, there you go.
I'm just looking for a 10. We don't need to do something crazy. Like
the Kings have not won against the Bucks in a very long time. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with some of these numbers, but according to articles that I was reading over at SacTownSports.com, last time the Kings did beat Milwaukee was back in the day, back in 2016, gentlemen, when Golden One Center was still being erected. They have dropped 15 consecutive games to the Bucks.
Wow.
Yeah, but you can attribute that to like just the Bucks having a more veteran roster. Like Fox is still young.
Yeah.
And comparatively to like even like now Dame, but like also having like Chris Middleton, like Malik Monk isn't that old. Like Kevin Huerter wasn't that old. So it's like the guys that you have to close the games, you're really relying on De'Aaron Fox just being the guy to get it done.
Yeah, Mr. Clutch himself for sure, and De'Aaron,
it's tougher this year too, where they're not having the same offensive efficiency as they did last year.
Yeah, that's what I was also looking into. I don't know what's going on. We were really struggling with our free throws at the beginning of the year, and then now it's like, yeah, the offensive efficiency isn't there, and if we go below 35% from beyond the arc, we're just not going to get it done that night. Plain and simple.
And that's what I was about to ask you, is like, from a distance, I watch the Kings when they're on national TV, but I can't watch them night in and night. It looks like Sabonis is having a monster season, maybe even better than what he did last year. De'Aaron Fox is still doing De'Aaron Fox things. What has been missing that they're in the talks for the play-in after being the 3 seed last year?
I know. Well, as you guys probably know, we ran it back. It's pretty much the same core that we saw last year. So it goes back to, a question of not questioning leadership's choices, but is there something to be said about did we make the wrong decisions? Should we have brought in someone else? Should we have, jumped at a different opportunity? It's just a lot of question marks right now. And I think that based off of where the season goes and, the likelihood of playoffs or not is going to be a big factor in all of that.
I also think just a bunch of teams took a step forward in the West this year too. Like OKC,
that's true.
Like, so they're having essentially the season the Kings had last year, where they're a young core, all just gelled and just couldn't lose. And I mean, when you have like, didn't like the Kings have like historically like the third best like offensive efficiency season last year? They were. Like,
I think it was one. It was one ranked at one.
Yeah, I think it was number one. Yeah,
you're gonna regress. You're not gonna do it again. Like there's only so much you can only improve on. But also when you have a young group of guys like that, and then you put up numbers like that, it's like, what do you do offensively that, like, how do you improve that? Or it's like, you're going to give up like offense for defense then if you're going to go get somebody. And that's kind of like the Dame Drew Holiday trade for us, where it's like, we needed better offense, but we sacrificed a lot of defense.
And we've just kind of remained stagnant, I think, in my opinion, for our defense. And yeah, it's been a roller coaster. It's been one hell of a ride.
Well, I hope they turn it around, and I hope we're talking more than playing for the Kings, because like I said, this is a Kings friendly show. We're all about lighting the beam here on the Ramie and Drew show. Are people still into the beam? Has the shine?
Hell yeah.
Okay, good. I was gonna say, one
of our new lovely hosts made the ill-advised suggestion of like, could the beam not be here in a few years? And it just backfired on him, poor thing, but he gets it now.
Didn't
It's all about life
Watkins
to be.
try to do this when I was there? And I was
It's
like,
Watkins, it's Watkins' coworker or co-host.
I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw it. By the way,
Okay,
they're good together. They're fun.
so
And
great.
I know you
they're
work on
killing
that
it.
shit. They're
Yeah,
funny.
I love them.
But I was like, when Watkins said it, I was like, dude, they've been flying a W over Wrigley Field for over 100 years when they win games. Like, you don't have to, just because like it's not a new trendy thing anymore doesn't mean it's not fun and cool and you can't still keep doing it. Why do people try to take away fun, cool things?
It needs to stay. I mean, I have the pleasure of living downtown, and I know you used to live downtown, and just having that ability to walk outside, know that there's this big, beautiful beam in the sky. It's the craziest thing you've ever seen, straight out of a science fiction movie, that the Kings won. And it's just this, I think it's really prideful and awesome, and I don't think it should go anywhere. But yeah, we'll see with the Kings. I mean, we'll see. Definitely, compared to last year, they were a healthy bunch, and we've stayed relatively healthy too. So I just don't know what's going to happen when these playoffs roll around in mid-April here.
They learn from
Simone,
it.
I know you like. Oh, go ahead, Drew. Go ahead, Drew.
If they lose, they're going to learn from it, and they're going to be better for it next year.
They're going to plug in someone for sure. I think that it just has to be. We have to get another piece. We're missing it.
I don't know the contract situation there. Nobody is De'Aaron Fox under a max yet?
Oof, I'm going to have to look that up. Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Right there. Here's the problem solver. Donovan Mitchell.
He would look pretty good. He would look pretty good in a Kings uniform. You'd be lighting a bunch of beams with that dude, right?
Yeah, it's going to be. And then, Keeg's still under his rookie contract, I think, through next year. But it's going to be, I mean, then what do you do with Malik Monk? Can you keep him? I don't know. I really do not. I'm not going to get you for a second that I know anything about, contracts and max contract situations, but it just starts to, and I don't know if that's my Sacramento Kings fandom coming out, and we have such a tendency to be so soft and like, don't let him go, that I really can't make an informed decision for you, but it's going to be very interesting to say the least.
I mean, we literally this happened in Wisconsin for Packers fans, where they let go of Aaron Jones and crying about it. And it's like, you got a guy, but younger. And they're all just like, no, we should have held on to him. It's like, he's not a pet. Like, it's fine. He can go.
Who's going to be the problem in the NFC North? Like, I'm legit trying to think about that too. I'm like, you guys it's going to be an interesting situation up there. No,
not the
or
Bears,
you guys still think?
Not the Bears. They're going to win the Cap Space Championship. My Chicago Bears are going to win the Cap Space Championship once again, and not go get anybody.
Are still going to lock it down or clamp it down too?
Yeah, it's going to be the Lions or the Packers, and I hate to say it, especially the Packers end of that, but it's probably going to be the Lions. Shut the fuck up. Just shut up.
What about Sam Darnold and the new Purple Eaters?
Yeah, no, Simone, you know about Sam Darnold. If that dude had anything left in him, you're a 49ers fan. He would have beat out the last pick in the draft for the QB job in San Francisco. Come on. And I'm not knocking Brock Purdy, but I'm just saying, like, the job was there for the taking if he really wanted it. Sam Darnold is washed. And no, I'm not worried about the Vikings. Did you see, since you brought up football and you are a San Francisco fan,
yes,
and we talk about everything here on the Ramie and Drew show, did you guys see Nick Bosa cheesing with Donald Trump?
Devastated.
He was fangirling out like my niece meeting Taylor Swift. It was like his reaction after meeting him. He was like sitting in his chair and he like couldn't sit still. He was still like electric for meeting Donald Trump.
Did I also see Joe Burrow was there too?
Yes.
Also fangirling. I'm like, what are you doing?
He wasn't going as hard as Nick Bosa was, but he smiled and shook his hand and everything. I don't know if that was just like a, Joe Burrow being respectful thing, and I'm not going to make a scene here, or if he is, a fan of the dudes, but Nick Bosa was like on fire.
It makes me sick.
That he got to meet his hero.
As I always say, when, the 49ers have been fortunate enough to be in a couple of Super Bowls the last couple of years, and I say happy Super Bowl Sunday to everyone but Nick Bosa.
Well,
So.
let me just try to go out, like, win a gold medal in the good faith Olympics here. Maybe he got a pair of those really cool golden Trump shoes.
They're super cool.
Dude, Ramie, if someone shows up to the gym for basketball in those this season, I'm gonna laugh so hard. Like
what are those?
We all try to get like the weirdest shoes or something, like when we play.
They're awful, man. They are awful.
They look.
I wonder if they're on his website like right now, or did they like sell out? Or
they sold.
Gross.
They sold out, and then it turned out that it was one of those drop ship things where they're going to send them all at the same time, and you're going to have to wait till like June to get your. I saw somebody call them Insurrection 45.
Yes.
Dude, really, really good.
That is pretty good. But real quick, and then we'll get into the Princess Kate stuff. Tonight's game, Simone, you said you don't really like the matchup. You don't think y'all are lighting the beam tonight when all is said and done.
And I know that last game was very it was very closely matched, and we ultimately lost on some missed free throws, and then Dame, of course, in his Dame time. But yeah, cool. I'm just not liking the matchup. I think it's unfavorable. The length is going to be a problem. I don't know if the Kings headspace. I'm not quite sure where we're at. Without naming some names, I saw the boys go out after their loss to the Rockets the other night, and I'm just like, I just don't know if this is a gritty enough team, and I don't know if that's going to be reflected down on the court.
You mean you saw them out on the town, like they weren't really feeling the loss? They went really.
I don't know if I should be saying that as a partner.
That's all right. Nobody watches.
No names. Yeah.
Follow YouTube, Spotify, and Apple, by the way. But that's surprising because Mike Brown had things in order last year. He had things in check. Like those dudes were locked in and focused on what was going on the court. Are you saying like maybe a little bit of that has worn off?
I think so.
Really?
Unfortunately, and I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how do you explain them losing to once in a while. I get it, the matchup's bad, but below 500 teams, short-handed teams. I mean, I was writing down some of the losses. We're 0-3 against the Rockets. We lost to the Pistons, the Bulls, the Hornets, and it's just 4-4 against the Pelicans. I mean, it's nasty work, as they say, and I just. It's hard for me to comprehensively analyze what's going on.
No, those are games that they should not be losing. You're spot on about that, and there's something off.
The Pelicans are kind of good when they want to be. They're another kind of weird down, but also just their size between Zion and then like Valanciunas, they just push guys around down low.
Yeah,
so like those are just like Zion's just such a strong guy. Again, that's where like the size thing comes in. And that's honestly, like, for the Bucks, like the one thing that I've said, the team that bothers me in the Eastern Conference isn't Boston. Porzingis is soft. The guys that I'm worried about are Jared Allen and Isaac Okoro from Cleveland, Evan Mobley. Those are the guys that I just don't want Giannis to have to bang against. So, and
that's also another problem with the Kings too. Now that you bring that up, their physicality too. I don't know. They almost perform better on the road and have that edge when it's, that kind of Sacramento versus everyone mentality. But I don't know, again, if it lends itself to our lovely disposition here in Sacramento as far as the fan base is concerned, that maybe we're coddling them a little bit too much. I know the other day when we did lose to the Rockets, there was a big conversation afterwards that a lot of the players were upset with the fans because they were booing going into the third quarter. And I don't know if Sacramento we're just too nurturing to the boys, and we let other people come in and push them around.
I have no reason to try and like play up to the fans because I'm not even there anymore or trying to win over Sacramento people. Kings fans are legit. Like you hear about it, and if you're an NBA fan, you hear about like best or loudest places to play. The Kings players have nothing to complain about when it comes to their fans and showing up.
People are
and
paying
showing out.
more than ever, and it's like a 50-50 chance if they're going to get a win. They're going to get to see their team win, especially against these teams that you expect them to be like dominating. It's crazy.
No,
I feel like I'm
and you're
taking
gonna get
crazy pills.
You're gonna get both sides of that coin when you have great fans. Were you about to say something, Drew?
Yeah, that happened earlier this year with the Bucks. Also, is that they laid an egg real bad on a game, and Bucks fans started booing in like the third quarter, and this is like when like a lot of the turmoil was happening defensively. And I think Giannis was the one that said, he's like, I would have booed us too with the way we played.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so I mean, it just might be another symptom of the Kings being a younger team. So then when the fan base that loves them starts to kind of
unconditionally,
like, they kind of get rattled. They're like, wait, where's this coming from? I thought you guys liked us. And it's like, but that doesn't mean you're. So
they're not untouchable. And especially when you're losing games that you have no business losing. Like, people are going to be displeased, and they're going to voice that, and they paid money to go and voice that. As long as they're not getting out of line, throwing things on the court,
of course,
saying things about your mama. You know what I mean? Like, as long as none of that is going on, like, I think, you're totally in the right and entitled to go ahead and boo them. But let's get to what Simone really came here for. Drew, I don't know if you've been following this story. Simone we got a little group chat for those of us with a darker sense of humor that I worked with out in Sacramento, and Simone has just been flooding the group chat with memes and tweets and all kinds of stuff about this Princess Kate story. Drew, do you know what's going on with Princess Kate and the royal family right now? Okay, all right.
Yeah, Princess of Wales getting photoshopped. Like, what's all that about? Like, it's
for those who
Ramie,
for those who don't know.
I know.
For those who don't know, the princess has been missing, right? We haven't seen the princess in a while, right, Simone?
Right. I have a comprehensive breakdown for this.
Oh, please, by all means, all means, go right ahead.
Yeah. We last saw the princess on December 25th of 2023. It starts to go into January, where then it starts to say that Kensington Palace says that she went an abdominal surgery and that she's going to be out of commission till March. But it's starting to not add up because of the lack of pictures. There's one reporter who came out and said that she's in a coma, but they're trying to disband that. And it's just been one hell of a ride. And I really got sucked in after that British Mother's Day Photoshop job. That was just, I'm at a loss for words, truly.
Yeah,
it's so bad.
Royal family, for those who don't know, the royal family put out a picture. Was this yesterday or 2 days ago?
Yeah, it was on Sunday.
Of Princess Kate with her children, and then everybody was like, this doesn't look real. Like, this doesn't look, it was pretty obviously touched up or photoshopped or something to even the untrained eye. And then they took it down and admitted that it was photoshopped. That is super sus.
Post for it. Take down all the pictures. Yeah, it has been altered. Kill this picture. It's nuts. I'm completely engulfed in it. This is the most gripping thing to happen to me since probably the Titan submarine last year. And I'm at a loss for words. I don't know what is going on in the UK right now.
Drew, do you have a theory? Do we have theories on where the princess is right now? And by the way, these are just theories. I got to put that disclaimer on it. These are just allegedly and theories and whatever other label we have to put on our total speculation here on what's going on with the Princess of Wales.
Can we get Pat McAfee to answer this for us? They got to know something. No, I didn't even put this together. How dare the British have a different Mother's Day than America? What is that?
In the dead of winter still? Yeah, not even a nice day.
When my mom finds out about this shit, I'm going to have to do two things now.
Totally. I didn't even know. I found out in real time. I was like, oh, I guess their Mother's Day is now. I didn't even know until this scandal happened.
It's the rainy season for 11 months there. Why would they?
Yeah.
Whatever.
I'm mad. I'm mad with you.
Did you see the deep dive?
My rankings of countries.
They're always down here for me.
Canada
Did you see the
below 500 team for me?
Did you see the deep dive that woman did about the Photoshop job and how she thinks it was the picture from Christmas and they like changed the color of the sweater that she was wearing
and that the kids were wearing the same shirts, and it's getting really crazy. And the more that there's more answers, or there's more questions than answers, and they're not answering any of the questions. I'm going down a deep, dark rabbit hole. You guys don't stop me.
No, I will not. I will not, because I love the memes and tweets you've been sending me for the last 3-4 days.
There's speculation about cheating, and we know how they've handled those things in the past. So it's just getting real dark. And Easter is going to be March 31st. So I mean, what's the over under on actually seeing a princess then?
Drew, what do you think? You're a gambler. What's that? A plus 300 that we see the princess
is British
before Easter? What was that?
Is British Easter different than ours, or is that the same Easter? My whole world's wrong now.
Right. So true.
Like, you keep reaching over. I keep reaching over. I know. On Charlie board with your conspiracy.
Oh, me? Yeah. Oh, full blown. Look, coma. Allegedly. Look at I come in with no analysis for the actual Sacramento Kings, just a grain of sand in a barren wasteland, and then for this it is just complete devotion. So yeah, I'm looking at the timelines, and I just have a lot of questions, you guys, a lot of questions that I need answers to.
Do we want to throw out theories? Because like you said, she's in a coma, she's dead, she's cheated, he cheated, they're getting a divorce. Like, what do you guys have theories on what? Because why do you put out that picture?
Which one? You need to be more specific.
The one that was photoshopped. Why do you put that out? Unless there's something shady going on here,
and we didn't even talk about the apology afterwards. How sketchy was that? Like, oh, I've just been dabbling in a little Adobe here and there. I'm like, no, you haven't. And they keep signing it off like that's her saying it. I'm like, this is like baseless. This is so crazy. I feel like unhinged. I don't know. The other picture was really bad too, of her like with her cheek turned looking the other way, and the bricks are two different brick colors. Like one brick is going in this wall. I'm just like, what are we doing? I
didn't even see that one.
I'll send it to you.
Was it like a written apology? Like an
yes.
Rated, like the corporation sincerely apologizes for any misconvenience.
Yeah, very much. It was basically her saying, like, I dabble in occasional Photoshop, and I should have let other staffers of Kensington Palace handle this. But ultimately, her trying to say that she took that project on. It's so bizarre. That's all I can think of. I don't know what is going to happen.
There was a video game that got released last year. It was a Lord of the Rings video game. It was just Gollum, and you just play as Gollum. And it was
tight.
No, it was terrible. It was fun. And like you had to pay extra if you wanted him to say "my precious." Like, it was crazy. And it was like this German it was like this German company that made this game, and then like everyone was so pissed at how buggy and broken the game was and just how stupid it was that they issued an apology, and they called it, "We sincerely apologize for the quality of Lord of Ring Gollum." Like, it was just AI. Lord of Ring. Like, and it was just.
Well, I can't wait to find out,
Ramie. And then the best part is that company didn't even know that they issued this apology. They found out from the apology that they issued an apology because somebody in their IT department made an AI apology.
I think one thing we can all agree on, I don't know if you guys can hear, there's a I have my window open. There's literally a motorcycle gang driving past my house right now. So that should make for good audio. This is the only thing the royal family is good for, right? Like scandal and weirdness.
Scandals.
Like this is the only purpose they serve. We all agree on that, right?
Shrouded in bizarreness. Absolutely.
They need Andrew to go to an island again. They got to let this blow over.
Well, my theory, my alleged theory for what's going on here, I think the princess is just taking on the Bravo cinematic universe, and I'm sure Drew has no idea what I'm talking about. Ramie may, but what if she's just enjoying catching up on a lot of housewives right now in a coma?
Have really misunderstood how insane comics are and how much of what I know you're talking about. You gotta be able to relate to people. You gotta be like, all right,
there you go.
Yeah,
she's just taking on the Bravo cinematic universe, getting into the scandal of it all. Jumping between housewife franchises and maybe even taking on a little bit of the traders. I don't know.
I've heard Simone that this year's Vanderpump has been this is kind of like the Kings, right? Like it was gonna be hard to keep up that level of performance. As far as I've heard that this season of Vanderpump Rules has been a bit of a disappointment.
Really they painted themselves into a corner, and it's a really dark one. There's mentions of suicide and just really dark stuff that's like after the scandal of it all, and they're basically coercing everyone to bring him back into the fold of the group, and it's not really that enjoyable, but that's the price you pay, I guess, when you fly so high as we did last year.
Yeah, I don't have my laptop up right now, but you should probably look into this. What ties did Princess Kate have to Boeing Airlines?
I have been seeing that too. I have been seeing that. What affiliation does she have with Boeing, dude? That's gotta be the final little red string connecting us all. So nuts.
Because that one.
What do you got?
They found that whistleblower dead in the backseat. He drives 3 hours outside the city, and then that typical side where you sit in the backseat of your car and stab yourself twice and shoot yourself in the head. That whole
classic.
Listen, it's the Clinton suicide.
That old Jesus.
Did that happen? I'm dead serious. Did that happen stateside, or was that over there? Because we really need to. Okay.
No, that was here. Yeah.
I was gonna be like, we need to get someone on the case. Yeah, I did remember seeing that somewhere on the timeline, and it's really troubling. I like it. I like what you're putting down, though. That could be something to really sniff out.
All these things are tied together. My girlfriend Simone recently did get into the Salt Lake City housewives. So
beautiful.
Because they were at the
they had a big fight one of their seasons, talking about like, oh, you gave blowjobs to get jazz tickets, and that was a storyline for my housewives for a little bit.
Jazz tickets?
For jazz tickets. I know, that's what they were saying. They're like, come on. It's not even a Laker game.
Are jazz tickets in that high of demand?
How bad do you
and that dicks are getting sucked? Is that really happening? That's crazy.
Who are the Jazz?
Each their own. I don't know who they were playing that night, but it was a big controversy.
I want to see that Markelle Fultz matchup against.
I gotta be courtside for that one.
Just make it make sense. Make it make sense.
That is Simone Rickford
in the Atlanta Hawks this year, and really want to his meteoric rise against the one team in the East that doesn't play defense.
Terrible.
Might be worth it to see Giannis, but other than that, I don't know. That's probably where I would draw the line. That is Simone Rickford of SacTown Sports. You can, yes.
I had a news story since we're sharing other news now.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Like scientists in Florida found a new breed of anacondas.
Mm.
Yeah.
Is there a joke here?
No, they're genetically they're slightly different. Like on the outside, they look exactly the same as the other like anacondas. Like they're not bigger or anything, or they're not like venomous, but like there is like a small like genetic mutation in them that makes these anacondas actually still want some, even if there aren't buns. So,
okay, all right, that is.
Yep.
Simone, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you were a part of that, and you shouldn't have been. You're better. You're better than that, and we shouldn't have subjected you to such nonsense.
Barb's Nation, I'm here for it.
They actually did find a new breed of anacondas. It's just not a fun story.
Okay,
it's not like you're not getting like to a J-Lo movie.
Save that for all right. This dude's doing open mic material on the podcast.
I called AJ because he's like our friend, like he's like a nature educator, and I called him and specifically asked him about snakes just to make that joke today.
You're a sick puppy. You're a sick puppy, Drew.
That's Simone Rickford. You can find her on SacTownSports.com, the SacTown Sports app, also at Simone Says Radio for all your royal family and Princess Kate content and memes and jokes and theories. Simone, really appreciate it. It was great seeing you, talking and catching up. Say hi to everybody for me back in SacTown.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys. This is fun.
Our absolute pleasure. There's Simone Rickford on episode 31 of Ramie and Drew live here on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. Please follow us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple, and support, like, follow, rate, review, tell a friend, all the stuff, and help us grow this thing. Drew, I'm really disappointed in you for that last joke and that last couple of minutes, and I'm done with you for today.
I was waiting I was going to bring it up regardless. I didn't care if we even had a guest. It was coming out.
Okay. See, and that, all right. I'm not even going to
shoot.
I don't know if you were even doing a thing there or not, but all right. I will talk to you again tomorrow. That is Drew Flaggy. I am Ramie Makloff. This has been Ramie and Drew.